Well, good evening. I'm sensing a spirit of tiredness. I'm just going to, in God's name, I'm going to cast that out. Casting out that spirit of laziness, slothfulness, and just replace it with God's presence, His zeal, His curiosity. Amen? All right. I'm going to have Antonio put up the gospel. I think it was the first page. Let me set the context. This is exciting stuff. So you ready? You're not ready. I want to get a quarter. You guys ready? Yes. There you go. I mean, you took the effort to get here, right? I mean, might as well eat the whole meal. No hors d'oeuvres, right? So, this is what's happening. The road to Emmaus. Let me give you the core message. You ready for the core message? Yes. All right, it's a little bit better. Imagine you're in a position, in a situation where you can't save yourself. You need help, and you know it. And then someone comes along and says, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. How would that make you feel? I'm coming to get you. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. That's the core message. I'm coming for you. Now, let's put it in context. You ready? Oh, my goodness. You guys are like 8th graders. I mean, you're checked out. You ready? Yes, there you go. All right, I'm coming for you. Here's the context. On the road to Emmaus, first of all, Jesus comes along, and what he's saying to them, this is what Jesus said. He said, you're not abandoned. When the sin took place in the Garden of Eden, when Adam and Eve disobeyed, God did not walk away. He did not just leave them there. He didn't abandon them. He didn't say, I'm done. Immediately, he started preparing a rescue mission. And that rescue mission was Jesus Christ himself. That says, I'm coming for you. I'm not leaving you. You're not abandoned. You're not forgotten. I'm not leaving you. That's exciting. That's exactly what's happening. Now, what takes place here is there's 2 disciples on their way. They're leaving. They're leaving where? From where? Yes, and where are they headed? Emmaus, 7 miles away. They're walking in the wrong direction. They're leaving. Who were the disciples? Nope. That's a good question, and we are, I guess. They're on their way, and what happened when they're conversing and debating, Jesus himself drew near, and they walked with him, but their eyes were prevented from recognizing him. Uh-oh. Why couldn't they? This was only 3 days away. 3 days. The disciples didn't even recognize Jesus. Did he change that much? Their eyes were prevented from recognizing him. Key. God did not reveal himself yet to them. Who did he reveal himself to? Or who was he talking to? Well, let's go on and see. Their eyes were prevented from recognizing him, and he asked them, what are you discussing as you walk along the way? They stopped looking downcast. Next slide. One of them named who? Who's that? Who is that? Let me tell you who he is. Remember when Mary and the other Mary ran to the tomb, and when they wanted to go find Jesus and wanted to anoint the body, they came to the tomb. The tomb was full, right? It was empty. Who was on the rock? An angel. What did the angel say to Mary and the other Mary? Why are you looking for the living among the dead? He's no longer here. He's been raised. Right? Mary and the other Mary. The other Mary had a husband. That husband is Cleopas, who is the uncle of Jesus. Why doesn't Cleopas recognize Jesus? It's his uncle. And footnote, Cleopas had 3 sons, Simon, Jude, James. They would become the first bishops in Jerusalem. And so Jesus is walking with Cleopas and the other disciple, who we don't know who it was. And he still doesn't recognize him. And now Jesus doesn't get mad at him. He goes on, he says, what sort of things have been said? These things that have happened to Jesus, the Nazarene. Stop right there. Jesus who? The Nazarene? Whatever happened to Jesus, the Son of God? Whatever happened to Jesus, the Messiah? Why is it Jesus of Nazarene, the Nazarene? What's happened to Cleopas? He's the uncle. What's going on with him? He's losing faith. He lost his faith. If you go on, and it goes on, and he says, and they reply, what sort of things? Was a prophet mighty in deed and word before God and all the people. How the chief priests and rulers both handed him over to be sentenced. But we were hoping that he would be the one to redeem Israel. Past tense. We're hoping it was. He's given up. How many of us give up? Next slide. Some of the women from our region, however, have astonished us. What's he going to say? The women came back and reported to him and to them that the tomb was empty. We saw an angel. The angel spoke to us. And we even had disciples go back and see exactly what they were saying, and it's all true. And then what did Jesus say to him? Oh, how foolish you are, and slow to remember. Oh, how foolish you are, how slow of heart to believe all that the prophets spoke. Wow. And then he begins to say, hey, Cleopas and the other disciple, let's talk a little bit. And he began to open up the scriptures, starting with Moses. What did Jesus just do? He just had a Bible lesson. He says, we're going to talk about this. He didn't get angry at him. He started talking to him. Now, that's where I need some of my notes. I don't know exactly what Jesus said, but if he starts with Moses, I'm sure he started even before Moses. He was probably talking around Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. Probably talking about Genesis 22. Probably got into Exodus chapter 12. Probably got into a few other things. Psalm 23. Probably got into the prophets. And he's beginning to open all of these up. Let's look at a few. You ready? Yes, we are ready. How about this one? Genesis chapter 3:15. Remember, what is he doing? He's opening up scriptures. He's speaking to their hearts. They don't even know who he is. And he says this, remember this. As soon as Adam and Eve sinned, God established a divine sentence to Satan. And he said this. This is chapter 3, verse 15. I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. Another word for offspring is seed. And it's in a different translation. But the seed, strange, isn't it? Who is the seed? The offspring, remember, Jesus is probably talking to them and saying, hey, remember Eve? Well, guess who the second Eve is? Mary. Remember Adam? Guess who the second Adam is? I'm the one that is obedient and overturning the negative of Adam. Mary's, her yes, overturns the negative of Eve. The seed and enmity between Satan's offspring and yours. I'm the seed. And now I'm the one that begins to bring redemption through the suffering. I'm the one. And they're beginning to hear this. Then he goes to Genesis chapter 22. And he talks about Abraham, and he talks about Isaac. And what happened to Abraham and Isaac? Isaac was doing what? Yes, correct. He was carrying the wood to go up to offer the sacrifice. And who was the sacrifice? Correct. Isaac. Who's the father of Isaac? Abraham. What was Abraham going to do with Isaac? Who was carrying the wood? Isaac. They get up to the top. And then God replaces with the son with a ram. Jesus says, but my Father did not replace it. I'm the lamb. I'm the one that sacrificed. I went to the hill. I carried the cross. I carried the wood. And then the sacrifice was offered for your behalf. Now, he's saying it much better than I am. But he's beginning to open it up. And they're starting to get it. And then he'll go back to, hey, remember in Exodus 12. Remember what was going on there when the lamb was slain and they put the blood on the doorposts. And death the angel of death overshadowed, right? They bypassed the Passover. He goes, I'm the lamb. I'm the blood. I'm the one on the doorposts. He begins to open all this up. Then he'll go to Psalm 22. And there he's going to talk about, this is David, King David, giving this psalm. And in the psalm he was talking about Jesus. And he's saying this. A beloved son carries the wood up to the mountain. The Father offers him. God provides the lamb. Sorry, wrong one. 22. My God, why have you forsaken me? Hands and feet pierced, casting lots for his garment. Jesus would show David wrote this for him. They know the Old Testament. They know it inside and out. And Jesus is putting it all together. What about the Noah and baptism? And he begins to bring those two things together. What about the manna in the desert? Then the Last Supper. He begins to bring that together. Where did they recognize Jesus? In the breaking of the bread. This is my body given up for you. Do this in remembrance of me. That's the conversation. And then what took place, remember, their hearts were veiled, their eyes were veiled, but what started burning in their hearts? Knowledge, awareness, truth, understanding. And all of a sudden, they said, stay with us. And then at the breaking the bread, he disappears. Footnote, the resurrected body. Subtlety, agility, moving at the speed of thought, and nothing can prevent it. He bilocates, he just disappears. And they run back, and they say, he has truly been raised. What's all this mean for us? You and I are not forgotten. No matter how old or how weak or how broken we are, no matter how young we are, no matter how oblivious we are to what's going on, no matter what's happening in the Middle East, no matter what they're saying about Trump or the Pope, all that stuff, he is with us. He's in the midst of us. And he has not left us. And he's walking with you and I on your road and my road to Emmaus. And you and I walk in the wrong direction lots of times. And sometimes our eyes are prevented from seeing we're going the wrong way. Until we begin to start to listen to him. Then our hearts start to burn. And they burn because maybe God is speaking through someone that's reaching your heart. I'm blessed to be on the front lines. There was a beautiful lady, Susan. Just yesterday I went to anoint her. Her daughters called me up and said, hey, she's passing. Can you come? She's scared to death. She just is scared. So we talked. All I said to her, gave her a lot of stories, and then I said, don't be afraid. I said, you've been waiting for this your whole life. Your whole life you've been working for this. And we talked through it. And she got to the point where she goes, I'm not afraid anymore. She felt, I don't want to leave this place. I don't want to leave my family. I don't know where I'm going. I said, I know. But I said, you're not alone. I said, he is right here with you. The church came to you. The church, Jesus is giving you communion. He's reminding you, I'm walking with you. Your daughters were put at ease. She was put at ease. The whole atmosphere changed. And conversion started taking place in the family. Why? Jesus is walking with us. That's the message. Leave here. Not that you're all by yourself. I don't understand the Mass. I don't get it. Doesn't matter. He's walking with you. He's with you. Just open your eyes to see. It's not that hard. Is this your husband? You're not saying anything. Tell him how much you love him tonight. Tell him why you fell in love with him. Tell him every day. Because if there's just if there's only one reason why you fell in love with him, then that's limited. But every day you tell him why. And then you tell her why you fell in love with her. And then every day tell her how you see Christ living in her, acting in her, growing within her, and how it changes your life, or if it doesn't change your life. And then why don't you pray in front of her to God so she can hear your heart. Because that's the road to Emmaus. God was listening to their hearts. He didn't stifle them. He said, tell me more. Well, how foolish of heart. God is right there. But we either get lazy or we get comfortable or we forget how exciting it is to follow a God that has destroyed death and has said, I'm coming for you. That's exciting news. That's very exciting. And I think at times we forget as Christians how exciting it is to have a God that does incredible things for us. And listen, it's okay to slow down. It's okay not to do what you used to be able to do. It's okay to have second thoughts. But you can't merit God's love. He's already given it to you. But what we can do in every situation, in every circumstance, identify and recognize and let somebody know why you are so consistent and happy and joyful. Because you just might be another Christ for somebody else to remind them that Jesus is alive. Cleopas' heart was stirred again. And he stopped walking toward Emmaus, and he ran back to Jerusalem. Thank you for your presence here today. Whatever you're dealing with at home, God already has a plan. He already knows the outcome. May we just take one moment, one day, one breath at a time, and let him walk with you. That's the difference. And as soon as you and I stop forgetting how to celebrate, when you and I forget how to recognize Christ in one another, we will never be able to recognize Christ in ourselves or see him in the bread. Amen? Amen. You're worth it. That says you were worth it. That says I was worth it. That says I can't give you any more. All I need is you to respond. Respond. Not once. Again and again and again. Until you and I see him face to face, eyeball to eyeball, soul to soul.